I'd like you to make what is called a multi-flow map. No, that's all right. We're fine. Just on the small paper. I'd like you to actually work right now in pairs, all right? Or in a trio. And here's what I'd like you to do. I would like you to put in the center high quality finance literacy. And I'm not going to say program, because this morning some people were saying, gosh, we don't need another program or a curriculum, even though that may be relevant. I don't know. But what I would like you to do is say, what are the things you would do that would cause us to make a high quality finance literacy approach? So some people would fall down on that question. What are the key things that you would do? For example, somebody was saying, I want to have relevance. I want to have people look at credit. I want people to understand, kids to understand risk. So try to develop as many things that you think are essential for a high-quality finance literacy approach, okay? So just do this left side right now. Take a moment in pairs or in a trio and map this out, okay? Just take a moment. You can keep adding causes or influences.
Can you tell us what's going into the boxes that we're filling in?
So what we're looking at are what it would cause or what would create a high quality finance literacy approach.
But wouldn't that be something?
That could be some of those things. Those are the guts of it.
Ability to make good decisions.
Would be a key dimension of finance literacy.
Going in.
Right, going in. So what would be the other things that you would have to have, you think, to have a high quality approach to finance literacy in schools?
Well, because I guess my confusion on the question is, like, what do I have to have as a teacher, or what do I have to have as a student? You know, like, because what I need as a teacher is I need time to collaborate with people, I need resources.
I would put those in there.
I need things like that. And then what does the student need? The student needs decision making, the student needs, do you understand what I'm saying?
Right, right. Let me address that in a few minutes, okay, with the big group.
Time and resources.
Time and resources would be key. Okay. What do you have going over here? Okay. Here's where the last step before we pull this together. So what we've now is we've generated some ideas, we've categorized or made a conceptual understanding. But what we're moving toward now, I think this group has gone wild. What we're moving towards now are what are the causes, what would create a good program, and what are the effects. So on the right side, I'm going to go up there and put some boxes up there. What I want you to think about are the ripple effects. Okay, let me say that again. What would be the ripple effects of a high-quality finance literacy approach in our schools? So what would be some of the short-term and long-term effects that you see? Because oftentimes when we're decision-making, it doesn't matter whether it's a classroom or in a corporate boardroom, or a school board, or a superintendent's leadership council, we have to think about not just the short but the long term. So take a moment. What would be some short-term and long-term effects? So take a moment, play with this. What are some long-term effects of a high-quality finance literacy approach? Long-term effects, short-term effects.
We all know what this course is. Can you read it?
Let's look at one map. Here, can you read this? Here we go. Can I have everybody's eyes? If not, your minds. Might be deer in the headlights, who knows? Here we go. So how about the long-term effects? Oh no, let's look at the causes on the left. Get their attention.
Which causes? These causes?
How would you get their attention?
How would we get their attention? For high quality?
Go.
Sorry, I'm really confused right now.
Here, go ahead, just read these. Read these.
Okay, credit, savings, we have to go over budgeting, marketing as far as marketing the actual programs and how different companies are marketing their products, different options that you have available to you as far as credit options, investing options, so on and so forth, and the resources that are available to you to help you gain more knowledge towards financial literacy.
Beautiful. So those were all the things that you would drive. Can we give him a hand? But this, I can tell he's no short-term thinker. Now we're looking at what are the ripple effects. And by the way, in systems thinking, and even President Obama talked about trying to break a vicious cycle. So oftentimes, the solutions we bring to problems become problems in themselves. Because we haven't tried to project out, we haven't tried to project out and predict what the effects of our solution is going to be. Because guess what? We've got a solution and we feel so good about it. And this is what can actually happen in sort of groupthink, is that we find the solution, everybody says, yes. Have you ever been in a meeting? Yes, that's it. Everybody go out, let's do this. And they don't think ahead. So what is the long term?
The long-term effects would, obviously the first one would be more knowledge, which would then probably lead to better decision-making. Better decision-making would then lead to less debt in America for everybody, basically, which would then cause less stress on most Americans. Everybody would then be happier, be in a better financial situation. And we're going to hope that that reduces the predatory lending, since everybody will be smarter as to where they're putting their money.
It seems like he deserves a free lunch. I don't know. Oh, there is no such thing. Oh, okay. He can do that. So here's what we'd like to do. I crunched the time a little bit to make sure we could get to lunch without being too late. But here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to take a moment and organize your papers, because what we would like to do as a group is to take this back, these maps, and synthesize and say, what did you get out of this morning? Here was a forum. Here are all these people talking at you a lot of the time. You just had an opportunity to bring forward your best thinking from the morning. That doesn't mean the best thinking for the rest of your life, but for this morning. So if you could, put those papers in the middle, and then I'd like you to just take a moment as you're doing that, and at your table group, at your table group, just talk about the process of what you did. Because Yvette Jackson this morning was talking about there are these processes that go across discipline, and they're thinking skills. So you just applied thinking skills via mapping techniques. How did that help you, or not as much, as a group? So put your papers together, check in with everybody, and then we're going to check out to lunch. So just take a moment and debrief.
Invite everybody to lunch, you see here. You can just invite everybody to lunch.
Sure.
Tell them to use the visual tool to follow the arrows to the lunch.
Will do. Good. Great. All right. So I was going to ask you for the dollar back. Here's what I'd like you to do. Any feedback that you have on what we just did, feedback, just write it on that dollar bill. If you don't have any feedback, you can take it with you. But any feedback, and then lunch is being served. You can follow the arrows, a visual tool towards lunch. Okay? Take a moment, any feedback.
Everybody knows the rule of 72.
Rule of thumb. Alrighty. First off, I want to thank everybody for hanging in late in the day. I also want to have you remember, if you're ever out on a road like I was yesterday, just a sec. If you're ever out on a road, on a dirt road back in the woods, and you're talking to your wife on a cell phone or husband, and they say, you're lost, look at the GPS, and you don't have one in the car, you know you're in trouble. So you don't always need a map. Have a good afternoon. Welcome to lunch. Jerry, you're going to lead the way. Thank you. Thanks for your ideas.